Hey guys, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Saturday, happy weekend, happy college football starting day for me. My Sooners play today at 2 o'clock and I am so excited. I've got my hat on, I've got my jersey on, I've got Oklahoma pants on. I'm using my Oklahoma mug for my hot tea right now. We got a new coach, we got a new QB, we got a whole bunch of new players, and I'm so excited to see them take the field today. Apparently Steve's excited too. So that's what's going on in my world, but that's not why I'm here today. I wish one day I could come on here and we could just chit-chat about happy things, and today's not that day. We are here to talk about this beautiful woman, Eliza Fletcher. She goes by Liza. I don't know if you guys have heard about this case. I was getting notes together for a couple of other cases that I'm making videos for, and I got a breaking news alert about Eliza being abducted. So of course, you know, it caught my attention and I started digging into it, and it's scary. It's very scary as a woman especially, but just in general, the circumstances are just wow. I'm gonna put her poster up here real quick. So I don't even know. Have you guys heard of this case? I hope you've heard of this case. If not for the breaking news alert, I might not have heard of it. So this is the flyer for her. It's got a couple pictures, and then you see in the top is the somewhat grainy surveillance footage of the SUV that she was taken in, and there is a surveillance picture of her, and it gives you the circumstances, the phone numbers, the hashtags to use, her description, and all of the circumstances. But I'm going to go over all of that with you right now. So let's dive in. So Eliza Fletcher, who also goes by Liza, is 35 years old. She was jogging just before 4:30 a.m. Friday and was in the area of the 3800 block of Central Avenue near the University of Memphis. And this is an area where she jogs on a regular basis. So, you know, my first thought was, could somebody have been watching her for a while, since this is a routine? Could they have been watching her for a while and they just got bold enough to take their chance and took her? She was abducted and forced into a mid-sized, dark-colored SUV after a brief struggle. The SUV was last seen driving west. Fletcher is described as 5'6", 137 pounds, with brown hair. I've also heard it described as blonde or dark blonde, and green eyes. She had her hair in a bun and was wearing a pink top and purple shorts. So I'm going to show you real quick just a general map so you can kind of visualize. I'm a visual person. I like to look at things. So this shows you the main campus of the University of Tennessee in Memphis, and that is showing where she was abducted and how far it was from her home. In the corner, we see like an inset map of the state of Tennessee with the little pin in the corner there, which is very close to the border. I will show you this surveillance footage. I'm glad they have surveillance footage. I just sincerely wish people could upgrade their cameras. You know, we always see like all these great things from like Ring doorbells and stuff, and then this is what we get from stores. But at least they have something, right? So this is the first image that they have of the dark colored SUV that abducted her. This is the second picture of the SUV. And most importantly, here we have a picture of Eliza as she was running before she was abducted. So, police were notified around 7:45 a.m. after Eliza never returned home from her jog. Police located some of her personal belongings, a water bottle, and her cell phone, and the phone was smashed. Investigators have only described her abductor as being a male. So my first thing that I do, my husband is not a true crimer. He was a military police officer for over probably half his career in the military, and yeah, he's not interested. He says if it doesn't affect him, he doesn't care. But I still torture him and make him listen to what I'm doing. So, like I always do when I'm working a case and things are like kind of bugging me, I will run scenarios past him using us as an example. So I asked him, I said, okay, so I go out for a jog. It's like 4 in the morning, 4:30, and I don't come home. When do you call the police? And he's like, well, it depends. Like, what time do you normally come home? And that we don't know. I did see that she was a distance track runner, so she very well may have gone out and ran for hours every day. I don't know. We don't have that information. But, you know, we're talking a 3 hour and 15-minute gap of when she was abducted and when she was reported missing. And I was just curious if, you know, 7:45, is it because normally she's home at 7:30? I don't know the significance of the time, but several hours had already passed. So a little bit about Eliza. She works as they call it a junior kindergarten teacher, which in my world, I'm guessing is a pre-K teacher. So very, very young children. At St. Mary's Episcopal School. She's also the mother of 2, and she's married. The FBI and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation are assisting with the search, which is fantastic. Anytime you can get those bigger alphabet agencies in there, it's always a good thing. Let's see. The surveillance footage came from the area of Central Avenue and Zach Curlin. Not knowing the area, that doesn't mean much to me, but I'm assuming if you are familiar with the area, that could be significant for you. According to CrimeStoppers, Eliza's family is offering a $50,000 reward for information that leads police to the suspects. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 immediately. You can also call CrimeStoppers at 901-528-CASH or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND or the Memphis PD at 901-545-2677. And of course, I will link all of that in the description box for this video. And then just a little bit, you know, it just happened yesterday, right? But already, you know, groups have formed and which I think is great when these Facebook groups form to kind of share information, because I find out a lot, like, you know, they'll post news clips and things like that from the local area that I might not otherwise see. And so the groups have formed, and I checked on Twitter. There wasn't a whole lot on Twitter, but I did find a few interesting things on Twitter. Let me make sure before we start diving into all of this. Okay, so let me take her down. This is the updated flyer from the Memphis Police Department, and really the only thing that was changed on the flyer was that now they believe that the SUV was a GMC Terrain. Now, I personally was not really familiar with a GMC Terrain, so don't worry, you guys, I got you. This is a GMC Terrain. And this is the type of vehicle, and it was dark in color. You know, it could have been dark blue, it could have been this color black. But this is what they're looking for in connection to her abduction. So I just kind of wanted to give you a visual of the vehicle, because you say GMC Terrain to me, and my immediate response was, what the hell is a GMC Terrain? So there we go with that. I hope that helped a little bit. Let's see. I took the time to upload all this stuff, so y'all are going to see it. This is Eliza and her husband and their 2 kids, who I cover their faces because kids. She is so beautiful, you guys. Now, in this picture, her hair definitely I would describe as blonde. So, if they're saying brown, I would say it's probably darker. Like, mine's still wet kind of at the bottom, and it looks darker. But this is Eliza and Richie. It sounds like, I don't know about him, but it sounds like she came from a rather prominent family in the area. Her wedding was featured in a magazine. So I'm guessing that's probably why such a large reward was immediately offered. And then get into a little bit of speculation territory, everybody. Speculation spectacles on. This was posted, I believe, in one of the groups. It could have been Twitter, but I think it was one of the groups. So it says, word on the street from a credible source is husband owed a debt for his habit. I don't know what his habit is, if it's drugs or gambling or what, but people are talking that he owed money. And sadly, we know in a lot of these cases it always comes down to money, right? Life insurance, money. This information was turned into the Memphis Police Department and CrimeStoppers. 10 minutes later, they seized his car, his phone, and his laptop. Now, I'm not going to make a whole lot out of that necessarily because, again, when I was talking with my husband, well, let me break it down for you how I always break it down for him. Let's say that my husband goes missing and I had nothing to do with it. I would be like, here, take my phone, take my computer, come in my house, take whatever the hell you need. I don't care, but we need to find him. And I would be volunteering for questioning, lie detector test, anything, because I know as the spouse, I am going to be their first suspect. It's just how it is. We all know that, right? So my thinking is, do whatever you have to do as fast as you can do it to clear me so we can get out there and find out who's really responsible for what happened. That's just me. Taking electronics, that just, it's normal these days. They want the electronics. They can learn a lot from laptops and phones. The car, I see cars taken often for processing. So at this point I was kind of, I'm not going to make a whole lot out of that. It seems relatively standard procedure, right? Then they added, word just came through, the nanny is involved, 22 years old. So now we have a 22-year-old nanny and Richie possibly being involved, like having an affair, I guess. And the husband, Richie, has lawyered up. So again, I asked my husband, if I go missing and you don't have anything to do with it, how soon do you get a lawyer? And he's like, never. And that's me. I have a ton of friends that are lawyers, that are judges, that have been state's attorneys, and I guarantee you every one of them, if they're watching, is like, hello, you need to get a lawyer. And it is everybody's right to have representation, and you're in this panic, stress state of mind, right? So you may not be conveying what you're trying to convey in the right way. God, I hope that made sense. I didn't convey that in a very good way. So I guess it's not unusual that the husband would hire a lawyer just, to protect himself. But when this happens, it just always, sends up that red flag for me. Why are you lawyering up so quickly? Why? I mean, like I said, I feel like, I'm an open book in real life as it is. I don't really hide anything from anybody. So I would just be, ask me what you need to ask me. And I'm telling you the truth. So I don't really need a lawyer. Um, Now, if I've cooperated and I've told them everything as I know it, I've been completely honest, and I feel like, they're still targeting me, um, and they're not looking elsewhere, maybe then I would call a lawyer. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been in that position, so I can't say. But when they lawyer up this fast, I mean, we're talking last night. She just went missing that morning and he already got a lawyer. That is always sus to me. And it always sends up a red flag. So it says, we'll update as word comes through. These are credible, they spelled it wrong, sources. So that, like I said, they say it's credible sources, but they didn't cite their sources. So that's why I said that was kind of speculation. This came from an attorney in Memphis. He says, I'm an attorney in Memphis, Tennessee. I also know multiple people who know this family. I can 100% confirm that the husband has retained counsel. I can 70% confirm that the husband and nanny have been taken into custody, not confirmed by the news yet, but has been by multiple sources close to the family. I can 100% confirm there are police and cadaver dogs searching Overton Park in Memphis right now. And I know that's true because I did see some footage of that. So, Richie and the nanny, more likely than not, have been taken into custody. Now, being taken into custody and being arrested are two completely different things. Taken into custody is not charged with anything, but it's interesting. So among the evidence that, let's see, do I have this? When they came and they took the vehicles and the computer and what have you from the home, they also took, now, in all the media I've seen, boy, I'm going to show my Okie here. They were saying they took lawn shears that they had tagged as evidence. So I'm thinking lawn shears, like lawn shears or something, like kind of like what I cut flowers with or whatever. For me and my family, we call these loppers. So they took these loppers, which we use these big loppers to cut like small tree branches and stuff when we're trimming the trees. And I found that very interesting. What an odd thing to take and tag as evidence, right? Like I said, I get the electronics, totally makes sense. I can wrap my mind around the vehicles. But these loppers, that to me, and especially when I saw them and I was like, oh, it's the big loppers. It's kind of frightening, right? Something led the police to think they needed to take those in for evidence. And some people are like, oh, maybe for fingerprints. What? There's like a million things they could get fingerprints off of, and if they've got his phone, they've got his fingerprints, right? So I don't think they just randomly chose these loppers and said, hey, we can get prints from these. And I mean, even more to the point, the guy should just willingly give up his fingerprints, right? If you want to be cleared. Because it's not going to be unusual for your prints to be in your house. So, I don't know. I just thought the loppers were kind of interesting. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys call those too. Do you guys call them loppers? Probably not. And then a local news reporter down there, he works for ABC 24. His name is Ian Ripple. He's great. I've been following him for this story because he posts a lot of updates. And he had pictures up. He was there. Says police are towing this vehicle from the home in the investigation of Eliza Fletcher's abduction. We also saw a computer and lawn shears tagged as evidence and removed from the home. And then you can see the pictures of the vehicle that they towed. I believe there was also he had some sort of a dark blue car that people were speculating kind of matched with the surveillance footage. But the police seem to think it's this GMC Terrain, and that's not the kind of vehicle they had. So I had a picture, but I'm not going to put it up here because I'm not sure it's relevant just yet. But I think that's all. Let me go through here because, like I said, if I take the time to put this stuff in my computer, I'm going to show you what I got in my computer because it takes a long time to go through and find this stuff and upload it, and you don't want to hear about it. So let's put this back up there. I think, like I said, there is the flyer from the Memphis Police Department, but I feel like this flyer gives us a lot more information. So take a look at the flyer, share it on your social media, print it out and spread it around if you can, especially if you're in the area. I feel like we're going to get answers pretty quick in this. I really do, especially the husband and the nanny and everybody thrown into the mix. I feel like it won't be terribly long before we find out what happened. I hate to think it's a money thing, but you know, we see it a lot. I honestly hope that she's out there somewhere. There have already been at least 100 incidents classified as kidnapping in Memphis this year. And people keep talking about a case where someone was abducted and they were taken to an ATM and forced to use their ATM to withdraw money, and then they were released. And at first I was hopeful, like, well, maybe, but I mean, I don't know, a jogger, I don't think you would target for like an ATM card necessarily, but maybe. I mean, she could definitely have an ATM card on her, but if that were the case and it was the same as the prior case, she would have been released by now, and she is not. So I'm hoping that she's out there somewhere and she's okay. And I don't want it to be the husband. I really don't want it to be the husband. I hate those stories, and there's just too many. So keep your eye out for her. And like I said, share this on your social media. Share the flyer on your social media. Use the hashtag Bring Eliza Home and hashtag Eliza Fletcher. And let's get more eyes on this case. Let's get awareness out there. Because like I said, it's there, but you kind of have to hunt for it, right? Unless you're in the local area. It seems like the local news is covering it quite well. But I would like more people to know what's going on. And of course, I will keep my eye on it, and I will update if and when anything changes or anything happens. Hopefully we will find out something soon, and hopefully it's good news rather than bad news, because everything we've been covering lately, I could use some good news. I don't know about you, but I could use a good outcome for a change. So give this video a thumbs up, and this is really important. This is not just for me. My channel, until I get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, I'm not monetized. I'm not asking you to like this so I get money or something. No. When I say to give it a thumbs up to help boost it in the algorithm, that is exactly what I mean. Because when you give it a thumbs up, it does help get it out on YouTube more, to spread it more. It will recommend this video to more people, so more people can see the case, they can learn about the case, and then in turn they can also share it. And in these cases, that's what we want. We want it shared. We want it out there everywhere. We want this to spread as far and wide as it can. So please give this a thumbs up. Share it on your social media. Like I said, share my video, or at least share her flyer, share her story, use the hashtags. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already and you want to, that would be great. It's free. All you do is hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime. And hit the notification bell for all. And you'll get a notification every time I upload a video, not just about this case, but all of the other cases that we are covering. As always, I thank you so much for spending a little bit of your Saturday with me to learn about this frightening case. I have been talking too much lately. Learning about who Eliza is. Like I said, she's a pre-K teacher. She's a mom of 2. We need to find her. So let's bring Eliza home. We can do this. We can do great things for a lot of people if we just work together. So everybody have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.